this garage door thing fixed.
Every star you see up there, maybe it is a world. You know, I mean, it was made for some purpose. You know, it's just up there, see? And then maybe in the future, maybe there'll be one Irish world.
Day 31. If there is a downhill in a 40-day fast, then I am probably in it. All right, to catch you up on where everything is. I was going back and forth on whether or not I would stay with Naked Juice because I had learned that the same man that started Naked Juice also started Evolution Fresh. I've been trying to get a hold of Jimmy Rosenberg to interview him. I'm still gonna keep trying to get a hold of him and interview him. I've been asking anybody on social if they know how to get a hold of him. I've watched several interviews with him, and I would just love to talk to him about starting the company called, like, oh, there's so many questions I have for him. Just as a company founder and a guy who's dedicated his life for the last 30 years to doing the same thing, almost 35 years now, since 1983, starting out. I'd just love to get these stories. It'd be so much fun just to hear them. So I'm gonna keep trying to get that. I have decided I'm staying. It's 40 days of Naked. I'm gonna stay on Naked Juice this whole time. So that's where I'm at, to catch you all the way up. I'm on day 31. I'm staying on Naked Juice. I'm trying to get a hold of the founder of both Naked Juice and Evolution Fresh just for an interview, as a thing to sort of cap off and to give me something to sort of focus on, a little project here. And I'm living day 31. Okay, so today is a little bit of a crazy day because I was putting stuff in my trunk, and as I was lowering my trunk, I noticed that my license plate expires at the end of this month. Today's the end of this month, and I couldn't renew it because there was some problem at the assessor's office. The assessor's office is right next to the DMV, so you go to both at the same time. Today's a Friday. It's gonna be a mess. And this wouldn't be a problem if it weren't for the fact that I have a board meeting today. I was gonna prep the deck. I sent them a pre-read, but I was gonna prep my deck to go over at the board meeting, and it's a big board meeting. The last board meeting we had, one of my board members brought in very bad news that my biggest client at the time was about to go out of business, and he had just found that out, and it had a pretty significant impact on my company. And I haven't had a board meeting since then. We've rebounded. We're doing fantastic. The team is killing it, and I'm so proud of everything they've accomplished in the past 60 days. You know, when your last board meeting didn't go well, and you have one coming up, and you've got some vision and direction things you need to talk about, it can be a little nerve-wracking. Oh, and I hadn't planned on going to the DMV today. Have you ever seen my DMV? Ugh, you will. First though, green tea. All right, I'm headed in to the assessor and the DMV. Okay, I'm done. 31 minutes. That's a record. Of course, it is the last day of the month, so they had every possible person working there. Okay. So, if you've never started up a company or ever had a big, super complex project that has lots of moving parts going on it, here's one of the hardest things about doing it is deciding what to focus on. We don't have a huge team. You've met them. There's half a dozen of us. There's probably another half a dozen people that in some kind of freelance capacity circle around. So say there's 10 to 15 people here, and we have multiple different clients, and we do generally the same thing for all of them. We want to be able to do that for more clients, and we want to actually be able to make more content that impacts the lives positively of more people. And how do you do that? How do you scale up a business? And how do you do that in a way that where you don't overextend in one area or another and end up toppling the whole thing down? And that's the challenge of growing a business, is how do you scale it? What you find is they grow and they get to plateaus, and then they stay there, and then to grow to the next one is harder, and then you plateau, and to grow to the next level is harder. I think it's that way in life. You get to a level and you're there, and then it plateaus, and then how do you get up to that next level? And you plateau and get up to the next level. You have to prune, you have to wait, you have to nurture and cultivate and do all of these things. You have risks, you try different things. Some things work, some things don't, and you always have to be wise about it. And the thing you find is you never get there. There is no there. There is only the journey and the work and the new challenge. And the point of life is the challenge. We're always like, man, all these problems. If only I didn't have these problems, I could do XYZ. Guess what? The problem is the point, because overcoming that is the learning in life that allows you to learn to grow to the next level, where you'll have another set of brand new challenges, and overcoming those is the next thing to do and the next thing to do. So if you're in a place in life where you don't like the challenges that are in front of you, and you don't think you would ever like challenges like that, it's probably time to actually switch what you're doing, because guess what? The challenges are never going away. And the more that we actually engage in life, engage in relationships, engage in anything, the more challenges we're going to have. The best way to not have challenges right now is to go home, get in bed, and not do anything. But guess what? If you do that for a long enough period of time, you will have a whole new set of challenges called muscles atrophy, weight gain, depression, desiring to sort of end your life. If you just quit, that's what happens, is that sort of downward spiral. So the key is to reframe the way we think about the problems in our life, and that's why people don't call them problems. That's why lots of times in businesses they won't say we have problems, we have challenges. I actually don't think that's hokey spin. I actually think it is a reframing, a different way of thinking about what's the challenge ahead of you. And then how do you tackle that? And how do you just go do it? Don't get paralyzed with indecision and you don't actually know exactly how to do it and it looks challenging. Go and do the thing. Maybe that just became my thought for the day, because I've got to go sit down and make this deck, and I've got a board meeting in 3.5 hours. It's all up here, and I wrote it down in a document, and they've pre-read it, but I've got to put just the key things so that the three of us, my 2 investors and one of my key guys that's a VP for me, and me, can all look and say, how do we make a decision about moving forward? What are the right decisions and the wrong decisions to make? So I'm going to go make that deck now so I can have this board meeting. I made it in time for the board meeting, and one of my partners showed up a couple of hours early, and I spent an hour with him, and I still got done with everything I needed to. These are my 2 partners, John James, Jim Leszewski.
Make me beautiful.
Hey, I'm driving home. It is a Friday afternoon here, day 31 to a close. I've had 2 juices. I've had the mango probiotic and a strawberry banana. I also got everything done on time for my board meeting. I'm gonna go home. I think we got some soccer practice tonight, and I'm gonna have a little bit of juice and just wrap out day 31 super strong, and then I'm on the countdown, 9 days left after today. Peace.